Behind the cape. Coogler wants to do X-Men, and he's signed to do Black Panther 3.
Yep, the Black Panther 3 thing is a backbreaker. That's a backbreaker. Gear up for your T'Challa Jr. For all my Shuri fans though, where y'all at? Stand up. Stand up. I thought it was her time. I thought we had so little black female superheroes that it was the black woman's time to don that mantle and give our girls and our women something. So where the fuck are y'all? Where are you at? FD signifier. You had a whole lot to say. You had a whole dissertation to put out about Shuri being Black Panther, right? And how it was the black women's time to be put to the forefront, even though black women were at the forefront of that franchise since its inception. But you moseyed into MCU talk to talk about this and to bring attention to it and to speak to why it was okay for Shuri to be Black Panther. So now that she's geared up to be replaced, and just her second appearance as the main Black Panther, where are y'all? Where is all of this pro Shuri energy when they are signaling to you that her ass is about to get scrapped? And if we keep with the storytelling method of Ryan Coogler, not just scrapped, probably dead.
Yeah.
Most likely dead.
She's
Because
the only one left in the family.
go away on a mission where you're occupied. It's not enough to be maimed and taken out of the fight temporarily. No. If you are out of the action in this franchise, you're dead.
Yeah.
You're dead. There is no throwing a villain in jail to rehabilitate him. There is no, fatal injury that will just keep you temporarily out of the action. There is no far off quest that you could be doing. There is nothing inventive that keeps a character out of the action and causes someone else to step into that role. No, it's death. It is death and only death. So if that's what we got going for Black Panther 3, buckle down. Buckle down. Because T'Challa needs to be motivated, and the only other person he got is either his mama or Shuri. One of them or both are dead.
Yeah.
Nakia or Shuri. One or both are dead. If we're expecting T'Challa to be the new Black Panther, he can't have that unless his parent dies. Another
Sure.
one.
Right.
Another one.
Does M'Baku come and help then at that point?
Fam, M'Baku doesn't want to be M'Baku. He wants to be Batman. What are we talking about?
Facts. Yeah.
What are we talking about? M'Baku don't even want to be king of Wakanda, man ape, part of the franchise that he told us that we were lucky to have. Remember that? Oh, we're being selfish and we don't know what these actors did to bring this role to us, and we should just be grateful. Nigga, you don't even want to be involved with it. You want to go play Batman. You want to be a white man. You want to go play a white man's character on screen. So I don't know where we're at with any of this. And then just to bring it all home, they're talking about letting him do X-Men.
Yeah, let's not ruin X-Men.
Fam.
Let's not do that. You're already ruining Fantastic Four.
I don't know what y'all smoking. I don't know what y'all on. You know what? I want to take it a step further. I hear a lot of people going out of their way to preface their condemnation or their criticism of Ryan's work by saying, "Oh, but he's a great director." I think what y'all mean is that he is an exceptional cinematographer. That man is great with visuals, and he has an elite eye behind the camera. He tells stories like a fifth grader. He has a one-track mind. He only has one way of telling stories. And to be completely honest with you, most of his work that we've seen on the silver screen, it's not 100% his work. It's not 100% his. Oscar Grant lived a life for him to tell that story. T'Challa, Black Panther, existed for 50 plus years before Ryan Coogler ever touched it. Creed is an extension of an existing franchise that was already written. So please tell me the masterful things that Ryan Coogler has written. That's part of being a director. Having an idea and a vision, staying consistent to that story and that vision, is part of being a director. It's not just fancy visuals. It's not just, oh man, this really looks beautiful. I've never seen this many black people in frame at one time. I know all of that is very impressive, and I will give him his credit where credit is due on a lot of those things. I've enjoyed a lot of his projects, but to call the man a great director, you are now setting the level of expectation for him to fail on. Sure. He's not a great director. I don't think he's proven that he's a great storyteller either.
So you don't feel he's a good director or writer?
I think great directors, truly elite directors, have both. They can give it to you visually while matching it with an elite story. Even though every word that's written or said in this movie is not his, he's in charge of the direction. He does say what makes the final cut and what doesn't. And he does have creative liberty to change things as he sees fit as the director. So as I'm seeing overall narrative of Black Panther 1, as I see a departure from that overall narrative in Black Panther 2, the inability to stay consistent in your narrative is something that any basic writer should be able to clear. And it's not something that he was able to do. I'll say he's much closer to it in the Creed franchise than he ever hits in Black Panther. But even still, there are inconsistencies there.
Yeah.
How does a guy who grew up like Adonis Creed, not off of the teat of his father, was never even accepted by that family until he became grown, not accept a guy like Dane? How was Adonis the young, brash delinquent in and out of juvie in Creed 1, but when we retell the story through Dame's eyes, he was essentially saved when he took a charge for him? Even though we just saw in Creed 1 what Adonis went through. And it was nothing like what was described by him or Dame in Creed 3. You see what I'm saying? There's an inconsistency in narrative here. Creed 1, Adonis essentially is Dame. The story gets retold in Creed 3, all of a sudden now Adonis is the Nepo baby. And again, I'll give you, this is the one where Ryan Coogler stepped back and took his hands off of it. Still got an executive producer credit. I'm not going to allow y'all to give this man credit for windfalls, but not criticism for failures. So would I like to see Ryan Coogler attached to X-Men? Absolutely not. Not even if Bo DeMaio is writing. I've heard a lot of people floating the idea. Oh, bring Bo DeMaio back to write and let Ryan shoot it.
His OnlyFans will keep him away from this project.
If you care about what's been going on in X-Men 97, the things that have been positive about it, the attention to the lore, the attention to characters, well, outside of Sunspot, Storm, and Bishop. If you care about the attention that's being paid to these characters and the lore, you want Ryan Coogler away from any project that has anything to do with lore. You want him far away from it. Because creative liberties and changes to the source material is that man's bag. So if you like those type of things in your MCU projects, then Ryan Coogler is your man. If you do not, and if you appreciated the type of trueness to character that we've gotten from X-Men 97, Ryan Coogler should be as far away from that thing as possible.
Have you seen Shogun?
Yes.
You watched the entire first season.
Mm-hmm.
How did you like it?
Excellent television. Have little to no complaints.
Okay. So you're here for a season 2.
So by the time I got to the end of season 1, I pretty much resolved myself to the fact that there wasn't going to be a season 2. So when I saw how it ended, I was a little apprehensive. I was like, it's one way to go out if you're not going to do a second season. I heard that that's kind of where the books left off. Was at that point that they ended season 1. So didn't really know how. Plus, if you finish the season of Shogun, there's a character that's no longer around, that's going to make it a little bit weird to, have some of these relationships without that person kind of intermediating. So it's going to be a thing, but I'm definitely here for more Shogun. I didn't think it ended in the most climactic way. So I'm definitely here for more Shogun if that's what they're doing.
Agatha, the show that we have been waiting for so long. So long. Me and you have that at the top of our list, the top of our anticipated list.
How this wasn't one of the things that wasn't silently canceled lets me know that's why the MCU is still going to fail. That, and plus, a couple other things that we're going to discuss down the pipe here. But these are some of the signs that are telling me that absolutely nothing has changed, and that my initial feeling towards where the MCU was going kind of still holds true. Nothing's going to change until leadership changes.
Sure.
Absolutely nothing's going to change until leadership changes. I guess I can empathize with some of the bail that people have been trying to give Kevin Feige, and the possibility of him getting things turned back around, and he's saying certain things that lead you to believe that he's thinking differently. Damn. The name of the new Agatha series is The Lying Witch with a Wardrobe.
The Lying Witch with Great Wardrobe.
With Great Wardrobe, sorry. So already a show that absolutely no one wanted to see, but now we have a very coy, erroneous connection to
reference to Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. Yeah.
For no reason at all. Fam, this is a joke. This is a game to them. It's a game to them. You can see it spreading into the comic books now. Krakoan era is all but done. We're launching a Dazzler solo comic. And like everybody and their mom can see them like hedging towards Taylor Swift to try to make some sort of synergy there for the live action reprisal. Listen, y'all, you could have Shania Twain out there. You could have Cher, Madonna, Elizabeth Taylor. No one is beating down the doors to play the least played character in the X-Men arcade game. Okay. No, nobody, I don't care if it's Taylor Swift that dons that costume. Like, the decisions that we're making right now are letting me know that we're not changing anything. Not changing anything. Not changing nothing. We are going to float that we may have secretly canceled some projects, even though Ironheart still has a release date, even though Agatha still has a release date. What else? We're hearing stuff about She-Hulk season 2.
Gross.
What did you cancel? What did you cancel? Mahershala Ali is getting ready to start working on another movie. No, he's about to start production on another film.
Of course he is.
And we already know that Marvel doesn't really do the conflicting schedules thing. You have to give up your other stuff. At least that's been the pattern in the past. Can't be working on two things at one time when you have a Marvel production in there. Or either they don't cast you, they go with somebody else. Why is Mahershala Ali starting a new project that's set to come out in 2026?
Because he ain't got nothing else to do.
We haven't even gotten the first look, a teaser, nothing. No set leaks of this man in a costume or anything from Blade.
Because they haven't started doing anything.
I'm trying to figure out where this like turnaround confidence is coming from. I don't get it. I really don't get it. The feelers that you're putting out for the new X-Men series is we want to center the female characters, as if that isn't how what you've been doing for the last several films. And once again, you can see it now. I talked about this before with them bringing the comic books into the Marvel Entertainment now. So now everything is being run through him. What are we getting in the new X-Men? We're getting Jubilee. We're getting Dazzler. We're getting Storm, which won't be written by a top-line writer, I guarantee you. For all of those that are excited about the Storm solo, did we not just get a Storm miniseries that just ended, that didn't do anything, that had a no-name writer on it and didn't move the needle whatsoever? Shout out to Al Ewing. We got him on her for about 30 issues, so on between Sword and X-Men Red. But on the Solo series. Like there literally was already one of those going on that no one was reading that didn't do anything because it had a no-name writer on it. If the person writing this book is not named Hewing, Hickman, Bendis, or Cates, or well, Cates is not writing right now, or Kieran Gillen, if it's not somebody that you see on the top 5 Marvel titles month in and month out, what is the point? What's the point? What are we doing? Why are we marching out Agatha Wardrobe Lying Witch, whatever the fuck that shit is called? Why are we doing it? No one wanted to see that shit in the begin with. And maybe you had a chance. Maybe you had a chance when this was still in close proximity to Scarlet Witch. Maybe you still had a chance when this still had close proximity to Multiverse of Madness. Multiverse of Madness came out 3 years ago now, y'all. Going on 3 years ago. Who is checking for Agatha Harkness? Like we're still repeating mistakes from 2 phases ago, putting these big gigantic gaps in between connected characters, giving people an ample amount of time to forget and not give a shit anymore. And we're still doing it.
Oh yeah.
So how are we supposed to be getting out of this hole again? Deadpool and Wolverine that's set in an alternate universe?
Captain America 4 from Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Jeff Bridges and Batista tell the Beowulf story. Jeff Bridges should be playing Grendel, and it will be told from Grendel's perspective.
I feel like this is interesting for 2 reasons. One, I think we were literally just talking about how a non-white person playing Beowulf is a little weird, and then here go Batista with his brown self rolling in here playing Beowulf. But the story concept is very interesting to me. I always felt like there was a section of that story missing, right? With the, obviously Beowulf coming in to help the first king with his problem with the siren, who, unbeknownst to him, had a baby and created the Grendel. He ends up repeating the entire cycle, right? But we really don't ever see Grendel growing up, knowing that his father is Beowulf and all that other stuff. Now, hopefully, I'm not spoiling the story here if no one's read the book or saw the animated feature.
It's been a while.
There is a lot of introspective that you can have into that story about a son and his father, the sins of a father repeating themselves, that kind of thing. So, yeah, interested, definitely. Kind of hits me the same way the new horror story, a horror movie. So from the bad guy's perspective is going to be, so should be some enlightening.
See how easy it is to make a creative story. All you have to do is change the perspective and give us new perspective on a story. It could be that simple.
You have to not be dedicated to telling stories one way. And sure. I feel like a lot of people get into that. Ryan, first of all, let me be clear. Ryan Coogler is not the only person that has that type of like tunnel vision. Zack Snyder's the same way. Zack Snyder is the same way, and he's going to put himself into a Michael Bay-esque creative box where nobody wants to give him a chance to do anything else because he can't stop doing slow-mo, or he can't stop over-explaining plot points, or he can't stop over-drawing out dialogue and making it so much longer than it has to be. See, Ryan Coogler had not the same traits, but he has similar type of afflictions in his storytelling. It's just that people stay off of his ass for some reason, and I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
They look at Ryan Coogler and it's just like, oh, well,
because of the subject matter.
He's great. And it's like, but people cannot tell me why.
Because of the subject matter. It's easy for white liberals, for example, to be like, oh, yeah, that movie was great, not realizing how tone deaf it can get at times because they're not black and they don't see it for the things that we see it for.
I guess. But I even see black people going up for, Ryan Coogler needs to do Secret Wars. Excuse me? Excuse me?
Well, those are people who don't support recast T'Challa. How's that?
I
You know what
don't
I
see the
mean?
one. I don't see the one two. Somebody would have to do more to me than Black Panther and Creed. Like even if I had no issues with those movies, I would still say that is a very limited filmography. Like it is very limited. Fruitvale Station, Creed, and Black Panther. Like I understand that there are three different settings, obviously. There isn't much distinction between those three storylines, folks. It's really not.
Sure.
Like if you look really hard, and you
Yeah.
just watch those movies over, he's kind of reworking the same story 3 times.
Yeah.
It's the same arc.
But
Like,
I feel like I
honestly,
can
it's Sins
do
of Our Father all over again.
right. I feel like I can
That
do
is
the same
running theme
thing.
for his stories, the sins of our father.
Yeah.
Whether it's the sins against that father or the actual sins of that father.
Yeah. But I feel like I could do the same thing for another Black director, and you'd feel the exact same way. If I told you Diary of a Mad Black Woman, Medea's Family Reunion, and another Medea movie, you'd feel the same way. Some Black people just don't have the ability to be diverse in the films that they make. But there are Black people who are going to support regardless. The Medea movies are the same thing. The Medea movies, down to the archetype of the light-skinned man coming in and saving the Black girl from her abusive dark-skinned man theme in every movie is. Let's move on.
Let's move on. Turned the Black matriarch and all of our families into a laughingstock, a gun-toting, cursing, illiterate fool.
Sure.
That's how he represents the Black matriarch to America, to white America mostly.
Sure.
But yeah.
All
y'all be surprised to know that most of the audience for Tyler Perry films are white liberals. But
all things will be saved.
No, not white liberals, white evangelicals, white church folk.
Right.
Love them type of movies.
Yes.
White
all things can be saved. All things can be saved as long as I have my light-skinned man and Jesus in my life.
And Jesus, right? Exactly. As long as I got God and a light-skinned man, we all right. Lord have mercy.
All right. Ralph Ineson. I think I said that right. Ralph Ineson has been cast to play Galactus.
I think it's a good casting. I think he's got the voice.
He got the voice for it.
Somebody to have that, that kind of, I've come to devour your planets, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I was thinking more Javier Bardem.
Okay.
On my side, but I like the casting. It's decent. I'll take it.
I agree. It's better than the rest of the casting that's insanely white.
Oh, you mean that was super white until we got Pedro Pascal, the whitest Latino of all Latinos.
Yeah, yep, that one.
Again, this is another sign to me that nothing is changing. Kevin Feige actually saying out of his mouth to a publication to print and show to everybody else that, man, this cast was so white before we got Pedro Pascal in here. Woo! That's like Drake saying whoever fed y'all that information is a fucking lame, and then turning right back around and saying that we fed that nigga the information.